Hi children, hope you have watched the Victor's channel English class. Now we can study in detail. Can you remember where I stopped the English class part 1? Yes, please say aloud. The boy saw from halfway up the tree what? A mongoose and a cobra, they were coming to fight each other. What happened next? Let us continue. Please listen the passage. It was an April afternoon, and the warm breeze of approaching summer and sent everyone, including grandfather, indoors. I was feeling drowsy myself and was wondering if I should go to the pond behind the house for a swim, when I saw a huge black cobra gliding out of a clump of cactus and making for some cooler part of the garden. At the same time, a mongoose, whom I had often seen, emerged from the bushes and went straight for the cobra. Then, in the third line, you can see a word, drowsy. What does it mean, drowsy? Drowsy, sleepy. Clump of cactus, a group of cactus. Cactus means a plant without leaves. From this paragraph, we can understand that it was an April afternoon. The boy was feeling drowsy himself. He wanted to swim in the pond because of the hot wind. Then he saw a cobra gliding or moving quickly out of a clump of cactus to the cooler part of the garden. At the same time, a mongoose emerged or came out from the bushes and went straight for the cobra. Then what happened next? Generally, we say that snake and mongoose are enemies. Here, they came to fight each other face to face. Now, in the next paragraph, in the clearing beneath the tree, in bright sunshine, they came to face. Cobra knew only too well that the grey mongoose, 3 long feet was super fighter, clever and aggressive. But the cobra was skillful and experienced fighter too. He could move swiftly and strike with the speed of light, and the sacs behind his long, sharp fangs were full of deadly venom. Now the word is superb. What is it? Superb? Excellent. Aggressive. Dangerous or vigorous. Sacs. A bag or ara. Sharp fangs. Long, sharp tooth or teeth. Vishapalligal. Now read the paragraph all. Okay? We can understand. Cobra knew that mongoose was an excellent fighter. Cobra was an experienced fighter also. Its sacs were full of poison or venom. Here is a question here. How did the cobra regard the opponent? Were they true warriors? What is the answer? I think it is a very easy question. You got the answer. Cobra regarded its opponent as a super fighter, clever and aggressive. Cobra was sort of skillful and experienced fighter. It means they are, or both of them are, true warriors. Let us go to the next paragraph. It was to be a battle of champions. Who are the champions? Cobra and the mongoose. Hissing defiance, his forked tongue darting in and out, the cobra raised 3 of his 6 feet off the ground and spread his broad spectacled hood. The mongoose bushed his tail. The long hair on his spine stood up In the past, the very thickness of his hair had saved him from bites that would have been fatal to others. Now, all read the paragraph. Okay. Hissing defiance. What is the meaning here? The defiance? Challenge to meet. Challenge to meet or challenging attitude. Fogged. Fogged. I think you are familiar. Have you seen the tongue of the snakes? Fogged. One end divided into two parts like a letter. One end divided into two parts. And next word here, the fatal. What is a fatal? Causing to death. Causing to death. Then from here we can understand cobra raised 3 feet of the ground, darting in and out of his forked tongue. It spread his hood. At the same time, the mongoose bushed or spread out his tail. The long hair on his spine stood up. Okay? Then the next paragraph, or here the eighth question here, you can say eighth question here. How did the mongoose manage to escape from the snake's bite? What is the answer? Mongoose bushed his tail, the long hair on his spine stood up, and thickness of his hair saved him from the snake's bite. And next paragraph. Though the combatants were unaware of my presence in the banyan tree, they soon became aware of the arrival of two other spectators. One was Myna and the other a jungle crow, not wily urban crow. They had seen these preparations for the battle and had settled on the cactus to watch the outcome. Had they been content only to watch, all would have been well with the both of them. Now, read the paragraph all. Okay, my dears. The word third line, spectators, meaning viewers. Next, wily, cunning, or a clever. They were aware. They were not aware of the presence of me. The boy says that. But they knew the presence of two spectators. Who were the two spectators? The myna and a jungle crow. Crow was not a clever one. Here is a remark here. Wily urban crow. It was not a clever one. The crow was not a clever one. There was the fight of cobra and mongoose. Now here is the next paragraph. The cobra stood on the defensive, swaying slowly from the side to side, trying to mesmerize the mongoose into making a false move. But the mongoose knew the power of his opponent's glazy, unwinking eyes and refused to meet them. Then, what does it mean, mesmerize? It means hypnotize, attract. Okay, have you watched the trick of the magicians? The magician mesmerized the viewers of his magic. The magicians mesmerize the viewers by his magic. And glazy, what is the meaning? Glazy meaning glazy, resembling. Glazy, resembling. okay, the cobra tried to change the attention of the mongoose by saying side to side, but the mongoose knew the power of his opponent. Okay, now there is a question here. Ninth question: the cobra was a good fighter. Pick out one of his fighting technique. You find the answer, write in the notebook. Next question, next paragraph. Instead, he fixed the gaze at the point just below the cobra's hood and opened the attack. Moving forward quickly until he was just within the cobra's race, he made a feint to one side. Immediately, the cobra struck. His hood came down so swiftly that I thought nothing could save the mongoose. But the little fellow jumped neatly to one side and darted in as swiftly as the cobra, biting the snake on the back and darting away again out of reach. Now read the paragraph. Okay, here is the word, second line, feigned to change the attention, confuse. During the time of here the football or other plays, one player tried to change the opponent's attention, like that here, and darted, move rapidly, From here we can understand that he fixed his gaze, look steadily, at the point just below the cobra's hood, darted to attack. From very near, mongoose made a feint to one side to make confusion that it was going to attack one side. Then cobra struck, but the mongoose jumped neatly to one side and moved rapidly. He bit the snake on the back and moved quickly from there. Now, the 10th question, the mongoose proved that he was clever one. Can you cite any instance of his cleverness? Cite, mention. Instance, meaning example. Instant moment. Instance, example. Then what is answer here? The mongoose proved that he was a clever one. It is very easy to understand the answer. The cobra tried to mesmerize to mark the false move. The clever mongoose knew the opponent's trick. He fixed his gaze at a point below the cobra's hood, and the moment the cobra struck, the crow and the myna hurled themselves at him, only to collide heavily in the mid-air, streaking at each other. They returned to cactus plant. Now, here is the word hurled. What is the meaning hurled? Throw something violently. And as a collide, strike violently against each other. The paragraph then understand here, when the cobra was attacked, crow and myna violently came near the cobra, but both of them collide heavily or struck violently. Streaking at each other, they returned to cactus plant. Now, here is a question. What were the reactions of the spectators when the cobra struck? Then try to find the answer all. Okay, my dears. The moment the cobra struck, the crow and the myna hurled themselves at him, only to collide heavily in mid-air. Okay. Then the next paragraph. A few drops of blood glistened on the cobra's back. The cobra struck again, missed. Again the mongoose sprang aside, jumped in and bit. Again the birds dived at the snake, bumped into each other insect, returned sticking to the safety to save the safety of the cactus. Then glistened, a new word glistened. What is the meaning? Shone brightly, glisten, shine brightly, glistened, shone brightly. Then next word here, the bummed, knock strongly, knock strongly. Then paragraph number 16 we can explain here. The cactus was bitten by the mongoose. A few drops of blood shone brightly. Now there started here the real fight between them. Cobra struck again, but could not do anything to mongoose. At the same time, mongoose sprang aside and jumped in and bit the cobra. The myna and the crow dived at the snake, but again bumped each other. They returned to the cactus. Now the next paragraph here. The third round followed the same course as the first, but with one dramatic difference here. The crow and myna, still determined to take part in the proceedings, dived at the cobra, but this time they missed each other as well as their mark. The myna flew on and reached its perch, but the crow tried to pull up in mid-air and turn back. In the second dart, it took him to do this. The cobra whipped his head back and struck with great force, his snout thudding against the crow's body. Now what happened here? Now the word last, whipped. What is a whipped meaning? Hit or beat. Hit or beat. Snout. Then what is the meaning? Snout, long nose and area of the mouth. Okay. Another here, touch. Then what is the meaning of touch? Hit something with the low sound. Hit something with the low sound. Third time, how they attacked the cobra first time? Same. They repeated. They were very careful not to collide themselves, but they missed their attack on cobra in the second time. Cobra whipped his back and struck great force. Cobra snout touched or hit strongly against the crow's body. The crow was hit strongly and beaten by the cobra. Then here is a question here. How did the crow push itself into trouble? What is the answer? Then here is the answer. Now okay, what is the answer? Then the crow took part in the fight and missed his mark. As tried to pull up in the air and turned back, the snake struck with a great force and his snout thudded against the crow. The answer here, the snake struck with a great force and his snout thudded against the crow's body. Let us go to the next paragraph. I saw the bird flung nearly 20 feet across the garden, where, after fluttering about for a while, it lay still. The myna remained on the cactus plant, very wisely refrained from the interfering again. Here, the bird was thrown 20 feet across the garden. Who was thrown? The crow was thrown. After fluttering, it lay still. It was the end of the bird. The myna wisely stopped interfering again. What happened to cobra and myna? Let us continue in the next class. Now, my dears, then you have the two works. One is Write the important words and meaning in the notebook. Write the questions and answers number 3 to 13, number 7 to 13 in the notebook, and take a copy or take photo and send privately in my mobile number. Now read the passage again and wait for the online exam. Okay, wish you all the best.